And welcome back to another edition of the John Wayne Surge Protector Podcast, a 60/40 production. I'm Eric Halsey.
I'm Alex Midway, and today I learned that my road rage is getting out of hand.
No, it's other people.
Yeah, so as you're driving down the street, man, like, my whole pet peeve is when people block the intersection and other people can't just make that turn. Like, you can leave two car lengths open and other people are able to make the turn and makes life easier. Like, I don't know. I think it's common decency, like returning a shopping cart.
Yeah, it's impeding traffic.
Yeah. So today, as I'm driving down, I'm in the right lane and I stop. Right lane right there. Boom. Traffic on the other side, two lanes. They both stop there. I see a little Nissan Sentra on the left, and it starts creeping up. So I see the car already move up. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go and make my spot. At this moment, a Volvo station wagon decides to pull the same S and try to merge into me. And I'm very close to paying off my car. And this guy ruins my morning, and I proceed to mother F him for the next solid 5 minutes, yelling. And if anyone has footage of it, it's not going to look good on my job resume.
I mean, if Palantir is honing in on you?
Yeah. If Grimes is watching those cameras, they'll definitely catch me. And it actually turned out what made my rage subside slightly is I found out it's my neighbor down the street. As I first looked at him, I saw a picture of his dog on the back of his station wagon. I'm like, wait a second. And then I saw what's it called? A baseball team sticker on there. I was like, he likes them too. I was like, God, man. I was like, all right, you know what? I can't kill someone in the same neighborhood. Like, I'm going to have to let this one slide. But that ruined my morning.
Yeah, it's almost better when it's an out-of-state tag.
Yeah.
Because then you don't feel nearly as bad in it. Yeah.
So, yeah, that was my story for today. Anything fun happened with you over the weekend?
I completed the 999 challenge this weekend.
Ooh, do tell.
That was 9 beers and 9 hot dogs within 9 innings at a baseball game. And gotta tell you, main takeaways, I am not a young man anymore. This hurt me so bad for numerous days afterwards. And after all the considerations, 9 hot dogs is too many hot dogs.
Well, that's why they set the prices of about $12 a hot dog and $15 a beer to keep the poorest from getting to such levels. But I see you stole someone's credit card.
Actually, I was gifted fancy pants seats, so It was the beers and the hot dogs were gratis, which is how rich people stay free. And I'm learning all sorts of new things.
Yeah. So you had a little trickle-down action. So the system works. It only took, 40 years for it to start? So give it another 40, we should be golden.
Yeah, the young man who was serving totally smelled the white trash on me, and he was like, "You don't belong here." And he gave me that, like, "Yeah, buddy, let's do this challenge." And he was cheering me on, took my picture afterwards. It was a good time.
You figured it wasn't with the other people in the suites, the other servers, like, this guy's gonna effing die today. I was like, I'm watching a snuff video.
Yeah, that was pretty much how it went.
And look at that, you disappointed them.
Well, there's nothing stronger than the will of the working class, is what I keep hearing. And I willed those 9 hot dogs down, and they willed themselves back out over a 48-hour period. That just brutal.
Anything out the front hole or just all back hold action?
This was all backdoor policy.
All right, fair enough. At least it came out the natural way. I guess that's good.
Considered throwing up, but I was like, no. You deserve this.
So technically, we all had something baseball related over the past since last Tuesday.
Correct.
Yeah, and we're good Americans, so we took off last Thursday. I doubt any of you even noticed, but whatever. So we didn't have a Thursday episode, so we're going to try to make up with a Tuesday because we got some things to get into. And let's get this thing popping. Tesla ticker. It was at 300 last week. It actually went all the way up to about 319, and then it went down to 298 yesterday. It fell off a cliff. Well, currently it went down to 291, but now it's at 298. And so it's been bouncing back and forth, and there's two reasons behind this. And the first is essentially, as you may have heard, your Medicare is about to get gutted because one big, beautiful bill passed. And it's one big and beautiful to if you're a billionaire. But Tesla's like a hungry kid losing SNAP benefits as this bill removes $7,500 tax credit. So Elon is a bit angry, and he went out and he said he's starting the new party. And do you know how he did this?
I'm assuming over X.
Yeah. He took and none of you can see this, but I'm doing air quotes, a poll. This is the same poll system that Putin uses to measure votes. You already know the results when you started, but he came out and said, by a factor of 2-1, you want a new political party, and you shall have it. When it comes to bankrupting our country with waste and graft, it's graft, not grift, we live in a one-party system, not a democracy. Today, the American Party is formed to give you back your freedom. And he said this on the 5th of July, the day after 4th of July, and it is awesome. So, how do you think that's progressing?
Do you think he waited for July 5th because it's going to be the new Independence Day?
I'm sure he had a really good zinger lined up for it, too. Yeah. He was just in the lab, just drafting up jokes. But the day after Elon says that on the 5th that he's starting a new party, a report started coming out that it said that a new party was registered with Elon as the head on it. And so Elon went out and said, that is a lie. I didn't register anything. And he reported to the FEC. So like a lot of guys on the right, there's a whole lot of talk and not much happening.
That's why they need the big trucks. That's why he needed to create the Cybertruck.
Yeah, nothing like overcompensating in a truck to tell people you're a man of action when you don't do any kind of action. And the hilarious party, like, obviously, Trump Daddy came out and he's not happy with this. Anytime someone does something that he doesn't want him to do, he's unhappy. And he starts bashing Elon, and he's like, how is he setting up a third party? They're just going to wreck things. He's going to let the demon rats win, and yada, yada, yada. And this is hilarious, because if you just remember shortly after the whole January 6th bit, when the Republicans briefly grew a spine, and they were going to kick him out the party, he was talking about how he's going to start the Lion Party, because apparently lions also have bone spurs and dodge the draft. So, but when the Republicans learned that he had a lot of donors and all of them drank the Kool-Aid and they donate a whole lot of money, they brought him back in. But he's bashing Elon for trying to start something that he already did. It's weird.
You know, I don't necessarily agree we need a third party at this time. It would be great for the future. But honestly, I'd just love to see the Democrats just go honey badger party. Just get mean, get nasty, show no fear. You know, that spine we keep talking about.
That's like your uncle coming to a decision that Trump lied to him. It ain't happening, dude. Next Thanksgiving, all the guys are burning red hats, making TikToks like, I swear to God, I feel so bad. I love black people. Like, I'm sorry. I don't want you guys deported. That's not happening. These guys are just going to lean into it.
No. I say we started. The JWSP podcast is officially starting the Honey Badger Party, where we will fight anybody who uses the term strong-worded letter ever again.
Because we're killing it so badly in the podcast department. We should definitely go ahead and branch out and put more on our plate.
You know, they say big things can't happen. You know, it only took one Luigi to get a bunch of people looking at healthcare. And now, because of that, we don't have any.
So I guess the pendulum spun in the other direction is what you're saying.
Correct.
Well, fair enough. Enough about us. We're not selfish here. Let's go take a look at what's happening in this world and kick it off with this Ukraine update. And, good news. The foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, has come out and he's got another list of demands for Ukraine that Russia would need in order to have this ceasefire. We're fast approaching the 24 hours in office for Trump, so it is definitely something that needs to get done.
Promises made.
Yeah. And as you might guess, they are just as reasonable as long as you are completely and utterly insane. So in a nutshell, Ukraine would need to go ahead, demilitarize, never hope to join NATO. The whole world needs to lift every last sanction against Russia, recognize all of Russia's gains, return all of seized assets, rescind any current lawsuits against Russia. And this seems like a great ending for both Putin, Trump, and PD Pete.
So the best part about that is not only is it Ukraine, now everybody else in the world has to stop their sanctions.
Yes. Russia needs to go back to doing what it was doing, and you all need to shut up, recognize this, and pinky swear we're definitely not doing this against a country that no longer is going to have any sort of defensive things or able to join NATO.
I mean, it seems completely reasonable. I don't understand why nobody else is getting behind this.
There's no history of any of this ever happening. Of a guy be like, hey, just give me a little bit of land here and I'll stop.
You know, I was at a dinner at a Mexican restaurant on Sunday night, and some, I'm guessing, 3 or 4-year-old was just screaming at his parents, top of the lungs, losing his mind, just terroristic demands about, you know, he wants a birthday cake and not a taco. This is like a drunk toddler in their list of demands.
Yeah.
But, you know, I guess it's a pretty good response for someone who wants nothing to do with peace.
I guess if you throw enough S against the wall, some of it's bound to stick. I mean, it's kind of a Russian negotiation policy. We'll get into more of that later. And I went from a Peter Thiel book, and now I'm reading a book on Putin. And I just can't wait to find the chapter where he gets denied admission to art school. So then it can really get me ready for what's going to happen next.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're painting lots of people, but none of them have faces, and we're kind of reading into it as maybe this is scary.
Vis-a-vis after pictures. So the reason I brought up old PD Pete in the previous column is because he's playing the hits once again. For the third time since he's become the king of the DoD, which is slightly over half a year, PD has stopped all aid shipments to Ukraine. And back when this tequila worm of a man did this in February and May, the course of action was reversed in the next following days. And I'm actually happy to say that there is a good ending about this one. I did pop on the news, and the White House has come out and said, no, we're resuming aid shipments to Ukraine. So red light, green light continues.
Well, you know, it's got to be a slow progress with Ukraine, you know, because if you just slammed them with all the things that we promised, Putin would be furious, you know?
Yeah. Like, do you have a coworker, like, under you who comes in, like, you come in, like, all right, man, let's get this inventory thing done, and where are all the tires? He's like, yeah, I just canceled the order. Like, why'd you end up doing it? I was like, oh, no reason. And then you have to redo the order, and then a month later, he does the same thing. And then 2 months later, he does the same thing. Like, how incompetent is this man at his job to be like, hey, who else do we have? Like, well, we have these 4-star journals that, oh, that's awesome. They're black. Like, ooh, I guess Pete's staying.
Yeah, can't have that in this administration.
So Pete's whole logic on this one is the fact that he said, like, oh, we're running out of munitions for ourselves, and with the amount of people we're pissing off, we're bound to start a war. I mean, we're putting tariffs on our allies, so who knows what happens next. But the Joint Staff actually concluded that providing continued assistance to Ukraine would not drain U.S. supplies below a required threshold needed to ensure military readiness. Like, that's the Joint Staff. These are people who actually know what they're doing, have actually been in the service. And if one thing I should tell you right now is Pete's actions have actually been condemned by representatives on both sides of the aisle. So, you know how hard is it to get these guys to agree on right now? And the fact that they're both screaming at Pete should tell you that bipartisan politics is far and few in between, but the fact that it's happening, he stepped in a big old pile of mess.
But did he, though? Like, what? It's with this White House, does that any of it matter?
I mean, he still has a job. Nothing's going to happen, so I guess that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you know. Well, let him go nurse this one at another bar.
Yeah, it's like,
what's not hurt him at all.
when Trump during the first run that came out, he's like, "Yeah, I'm famous. I can just grab him by the pee. Like you can do anything to him." Like everyone's like, "This guy's over. No way he's coming back from it." Like, hold my beer or
Yeah,
hold
no.
my diet Pepsi.
Yeah. That's the beauty of a cult. None of it matters.
Like it's fine. Speaking of cults,
Oh,
anything change in their life? Anything that they were expecting that may not have happened?
well, speaking of an example of you can do no wrong, in the Now You're Angry and Now You're Not edition of MAGA updates, there's no Epstein client list. And Jeffrey, 1,000,000%, no doubt, not even a little bit, definitely committed suicide. Period. End of story. That is the end of transmission.
There was what's it called? I saw one thing on Twitter. It says one guy said there was no evidence against Jeffrey Epstein. This is just a friendly reminder to never kill yourself.
Yeah. I saw another one that was like, man, it's a shame he accidentally killed himself right before it came out that he didn't do anything wrong.
Why is Maxwell still in jail? Shouldn't she be walking right now?
Correct. So if you may remember, prior to the election, at a White House event where MAGA influencers held up cartoon-sized binders of newly released Epstein photos, or Epstein binders. It's all sorts of new information. They all held it up because promises made, promises kept. And this was big about the Trump administration's transparency and protecting the kids. They made rumors about this client list, strictly nothing but Oprah, Clinton, George Soros, all the evil ones. And I believe Clinton was in there too, if I'm not mistaken. Bill, not Hillary? Maybe both. I don't know. When it's a rumor, you can say whatever you want.
It's pronounced Killary.
Oh, Hillary, yeah.
Email server, Hunter Biden, Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, and they're going to release these files, and we're going to finally see the justice from all these left-wing elitists, and we've got you covered. Just vote for us. And a lot of people, that did get a lot of people. They were like, we got to bring down these monsters.
Yeah. What's it?
Promises made, promises kept. Pam Bondi even said back in February that client list is sitting on my desk as we speak on an interview with Fox News. He said tens and thousands of documents and hours of child porn and all sorts of just the most evidence you could ever need. And it's all coming. And then the day came where it was in a fart in church, just quickly in the middle of the night said, nothing to see here.
Yeah. Like she came out and she said, like, the FBI is currently reviewing tens of thousands of recordings that show Epstein having children or having child porn. And it's like, as soon as these come out, we're going to release everything. And now she's like, no, it doesn't exist. And you probably would have known the fact that there's none of these videos because the fact is the government never charged him with possession of child sex abuse material. I mean, that's your first dead giveaway.
Yeah, and that's, you got to think with tens of thousands of hours of this, that's kind of a slam dunk.
It's an open and shut case at that point. Is, I don't know, just release 1,000 hours. We're not even asking for 10,000 hours.
Show me one picture, and then we can go, okay, now you get to get shanked like the rest of the chomos in regular prison.
Give me a transcript.
Yeah.
Like, no, it doesn't exist.
No. All right, just so I get this right, I wrote this down. According to the press release, the systematic review revealed no incriminating client list, as well as there was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against an uncharged third parties. Well, if it came from what's a conflict of interest Pam Bondi, I guess it's true.
Like, there's been stories that released that said there was blackmail that was happening. And the reason this isn't coming out, and this is funny, I actually just saw this again on Twitter, and a lot of these people, the right is just like, they like Grok, the artificial AI that Elon built, and he's currently trying to push him wear a little red armband as much as possible. But this AI is fighting back. He's like, listen, I can't ignore the facts. They're like, hey, man, what's going on with that Epstein list? Like, how come it's not being released? And he's like, listen. He's like, Trump's been on that Lolita Express at least 7 times according to these documents. Like, you do the math.
Also, there are pictures of Elon with Ms. Maxwell, too. So,
I mean, the guy was in high society. I get it. Like, he was a mover and shaker. Some people say he was Mossad. I mean, and all kinds of other conspiracy theories. But, like, he knew a lot of people. Like, being sided with him, I understand. That's going to happen. Flying to his island 8 times and then having people testify that you're a 13-year-old girl and the current president held you down and raped you and then did other things to you that I won't get into, but you can definitely find online. Like, that's a little bit more. But just being photographed with him, I can deal with that. But when you say, you tell 13-year-old girls in beauty pageants, and this is documented, that in 10 years you want to come see them and date them, and then you say you would date your daughter if she wasn't your daughter, and then you're flying 7 times to an island where apparently they're raping underage girls, like, smoke and fire, I guess?
No, I'm calling BS, and this is why. Who's our boy from Maryland who got sent to El Salvador and just got brought back, and now he's about to go back? What's his name?
The guy with absolutely the worst first name, Kilmar.
Yeah, Kilmar, right? If he can be pictured wearing a Bulls hat, and that's enough to prove he's in a gang, getting your picture taken with Madame Lolita Express, if it works one way, it has to work the other.
Well, if they MS Paint him with wearing a ball gag as well, just like they put, like, what's it called, the MS-13 on Abrego's Garcia's fingers there.
Yeah, no, if that picture's enough to get you sent to, El Salvador's version of Auschwitz, no. Then a picture of you with like a notorious pedo. You want to stick with the fly with the crows, get shot with the crows. You have to eat that too.
Wrong. We're using the Family Guy. What's it called? The terrorist watch list swatch.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's that.
Yeah. If you guys don't know what that is, it's when Peter's getting that thing, like a piece of paper held up to him, and it says terrorist, and it's a very dark color, and the colors get slightly lighter, and it says not terrorist. That's the Family Guy swatch.
Which is a ripoff of an old joke your racist grandpa used to call the color list.
I did not know this.
Yeah, it's true. There's also one about Asians in their eyes, but we're treading on thin ice as is. So right before we started recording, I saw an update, a very cool press meeting featuring Mark Rubio, who has that constant I need Pepto-Bismol look, Pam Bondi, and Trump. And a reporter asked about, there's 10 hours of Epstein security cam footage of an empty hallway, except for one missing minute. And Trump lost his damn mind, took over Pam's question and goes, quote, "Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy has been talked about for years. You're asking, ... We have Texas. We have this. We have all these things. Are you people still talking about this guy? This creep? This is unbelievable. Do you waste your time? Do you feel like answering? I mean, I can't even believe you're asking a question about Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success." Then his brain flicked back on and went, and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It seems like a desecration.
It's he's very defensive in a Jeffrey Epstein thing. There was you remember the one interview was on Fox, and they're interviewing Trump, and they're like, "Would you declassify?" I think it was like the JFK files. Like, yes. He's like, "What about the moon landing?" He's like, "Yes." He's like, "What about the Epstein files?" Like, "Yes." Well, he's like, "What if I don't? Some of the stuff might not be true in there. I don't want to hurt people, so maybe not." And he just walked it back so hard.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, there's a bunch of lies, so I mean, maybe some of it. Probably none of it. Also, there is no list.
That's wild.
Good God. Yeah, I can't think of a reason why we'd still be talking about Jeffrey Epstein either, even though you just released a memo Sunday night saying there is no list that that you based a ton of your campaign on.
Yeah, like Kash Patel was screaming at Biden. He's like, there's people in this administration who are evil and holding us out. And there was one guy from, I think he was in the FBI. He retired as soon as Trump took over. And he's like, because they were blaming him. He's like, you're not giving up the Epstein file. You're harboring kid diddlers. And he's like, this is freaking ridiculous. He's like, I've got enough time for retirement. He just walked out. And now they're like, oh, no, it's cool. There's none of that exists. Like, come on.
Well, luckily that was the only meltdown we've had over the past couple days.
Yeah.
Except for flash floods ravaged central lower Texas this weekend, killing, at time of recording, 109 Texans. In the early hours of July 4th, heavy rains dumped so much water into the Guadalupe River that it rose over 22 feet in an hour. Think about that. That is an asinine number to try to imagine, but seeing how this happens to Texas every few years, if you remember, J.J. Watt won NFL's Man of the Year award after raising $37 million for the Houston flood in 2017, I assume they had measures in place to combat this kind of destruction. They didn't. Now, normally, this is the part of the story where you get offered a bunch of thoughts and prayers, but interest really popped off when it was discovered this river runs along a couple of high-dollar summer camps, washing out a pricey all-girls Christian one called Camp Mystic. The bodies of at least 27 campers have been found so far, but more bodies are expected in the next coming days.
And if you get the attention of the administration in any which way, it's with rich babies. Like, was minority kids washed away? Like, we're saving money and deporting them. But when the white kids get hurt, like, now that's cause for alarm.
Yeah, exactly. And they're not even the ones doing the shooting this time. Now, dead kids don't really matter anymore to the general public. We're so used to seeing and hearing stories about kids getting shot at this point, it doesn't even register anymore. But innocent Christian girls from wealthy families at that, this is going to be somebody's fault. So I ask, who do we blame?
A rational person be like, I don't know, man. Maybe the fact that we're cutting funds to the NOAA, we're getting rid of all these things that prove there's climate change. We're trying to get rid of early warning detection systems. And I don't know if you saw it. There's actually one, he's a weather broadcaster from Florida. And he was talking about the last hurricane. He's like, listen, back then, I could have told you exactly what's happening and when. He's like, right now, don't have the resources. Like, and he's been doing broadcasting as a weatherman for like 30-some years. And he's like, dude, I don't have the resources anymore. Like, we don't get the information. And I don't know, man. If you remember the first Trump presidency, when he rolled back the safety things for trains and something happened outside of Ohio, same thing here. It's a cause and effect. But like, no, it's Jewish space lasers. Or is there another reason?
So I kind of assumed you were going to cut in with your socialist commie hoax talk.
Yeah.
But why don't we hand over the reins to a rational person? Georgia's dumbest representative is already locked in on this culprit. The evil bastards running the weather machines. Let that sink in, guys. Yes, Large March just introduced a bill that prohibits the injection, release, or dispersion of chemicals into the atmosphere for the express purpose of altering weather. In fact, she's been researching weather modification and working with the legislative team for months writing this bill. So this isn't a knee-jerk reaction. She truly believes in an evil monster controlling the weather, and I'm willing to bet it's the same people who run that Jewish space laser she kept talking about.
So I do want to jump in on that one. Technically, people do kind of control the weather. I know in Colorado they kind of do some seeding for rain, and there was a funny interaction again on Twix. There was one lady's like, we need to look at these people who are, ionizing the air in order for rain up to it. He's like, one of the company was Palantir. And another guy's like, yeah, Palantir, the same guy who did all these things. Like, yeah, we really need to look into him. I was like, yeah, he probably has blood on his hands. It's like how she walked into it. But I mean, there's a difference between when you have a drought somewhere and then you put a couple chemicals into the air in order to get the rain to come down versus you're doing biblical floods and I don't know. Why are all these hurricanes keep hitting red states? Like, because you dummies are by the Gulf. That's why they appear.
Gulf of America.
Yeah. It's like the same thing. There's earthquakes in California. They're on a freaking fault line. Like, you mean God? Like, I give up.
Oh, pin in that. We're getting there. So if Weather Machine doesn't sound right to you, let's try another option, the current administration. Some people, like my socialist hoax-loving cohort here on the podcast, believe the administration is to blame. Because of gutting FEMA and National Weather Service, so on and so forth. In fact, many people of sound logic, including but not limited to high school graduates, blue areas on your political map, people who have never worked at a carnival, etc., believe this was an inevitability because this is what happens when you defund early warning systems.
Yeah, did we see any kind of results when we started messing with the FAA as well? Like when we started gutting that one and air traffic controllers? Did anything ever come of that?
Pretty sure we blamed Woman Pilot for that one, but it was so long ago that, again, do you even think about it anymore?
Yeah, lady minorities.
We're just on to the next dumpster fire.
There's plenty.
All right, so a lot of people are blaming the current administration for, all the cutbacks and whatnot in early warning systems. But those people are probably dumb and bi-curious, or so says Carolyn Levitt, probably. After a reporter asked if the warnings could have gone out earlier, but didn't due to understaffing, old City Miles Levitt fired back by saying they were actually overstaffed. And then, when questioned about it, pivoted to my new favorite line from this final season of America. Quote, "This was an act of God. It's not the administration's fault the flood hit when it did." End quote. That's right, my little God-fearing hate mongers. Your new daddy's voice box is blaming God for all those dead kitties. Other countries pay the tariffs. There was no client list. God hates Texas. Now eat it up, you little piggies.
Did you notice two things? And I don't watch the, the pressers. And I did not fact check this, so that's on me. But apparently when she was talking about the Epstein list and when she was just talking about the floods, that giant cartoon-sized cross is not on her neck anymore.
No, that's the next pivot. We're blaming God for all the problems. It's not our own doing.
So now we're going to worship a never false idol, Donald J. Trump.
Exactly. Yikes.
Did you see the video of Big Donnie at the table of Bibi Netanyahu?
No, I haven't gotten into that one yet. I was still laughing hilariously at we're blaming God now.
This is even better. So they're at the table, and Bibi's like, "Hey, man, thank you for doing all that righteous bombing of all these crazy Iranians." He's like, "Here's a copy of a letter that I sent to the Nobel Peace Prize organization." He's like, I'm volunteered that you get the next prize. And he goes across the table and hands it to Trump, and Trump's like, "Thank you. This means so much coming from you." I'm like, yeah, because Bibi is just a beacon of peace. It's just a reserved human being.
Yeah, it's not even irony anymore. Like, they murdered that months ago, but yikes, man.
Dude, they're literally showing up at funerals and just starting gunning people down who are grieving for their family who get just drone strike while they were trying to get food. Like, it's not anti-Semitic to question stuff like that. Like, I don't know, man. Like, why are you guys bombing, like, food trucks?
Yeah, or setting up barbecues outside of prisons where you are starving people. Like, just going out of your way to be dicks.
I mean, all right, let's end on a good note. We're going to do a follow-up. It's Kaliningrad. I actually looked into it and found out why that little part of a country is all by itself.
Do tell.
Yeah. This might seem a little bit like a broken record, actually. So this all started after World War II. The Soviet Union at that time, they had crazy casualties. A lot of people don't talk about this, but the amount of people that they lost, just for reasons we're not even going to get into, is huge. The American losses are nothing. Like, they lost the most out of anyone. So at that point, they were kind of angry, and they were angry with Germany. They were angry with a lot of people, and they wanted some reparations, so to speak. And Stalin went ahead and pulled a classic line that you might remember, that Kaliningrad was ancient Soviet soil. He's like, no, man, like, we lived there before. Kind of like, I don't know, did Putin ever say anything about Ukraine just being full of Russians? So it's the same reason they started that joke back then. The reason he did this mainly was because of Kaliningrad is a part of East Prussia. And it's also, he wanted a port that actually wouldn't be frozen over so he could station the Navy out there. The rest of Russia tends to get a tad bit chilly, and a lot of the actual ports would freeze, so he wanted this place out there. So he started screaming, this is ancient Soviet soil, we lost so much, yada yada, I get to keep it. Other parts of East Prussia went to Lithuania, they went to Poland, but he wanted that area down there. So now it's being surrounded by that. And he ended up doing the same thing he's doing down in Ukraine now. He started kicking out the ethnic Germans, and he started just moving in Russians. So even later on, when people started to be like, hey man, when like the Soviet Union collapsed, like, can we have this back? Like, nope, just nothing but Russians living here. Like, that's ours. So that's the story about Kaliningrad.
Yeah, it's like the old English thing about just outbreed them and it just becomes ours.
It's not just outbreed them, like kick out the indigenous, and then we'll move in here.
Yeah,
no, wait.
And that's an American thing.
Yeah, we did that. That too sounds familiar.
We're monsters, all of us.
I'm Monster Midway.
And I'm Eric Halsey.
Daddy, chill.
Later, Gators.